Victor Gyökeres. This is not a transfer-focused pod, but it feels like it'd be foolish to go through an
Of course.
entire 45 minutes to an hour and not acknowledge at least one of our new signings that's not present. We'll do more later, but Mitch, how are you feeling about the fact that it looks like the Victor Gyökeres deal is done?
I'm very, very excited. I think we've talked a little bit about transfers like the end of last season, and I think I've always been more of a Sesko guy whenever like all of our links came out. But I
Same.
think at this price, Gyökeres is a better signing. And also, once we started moving forward with him, I really warmed up to the idea of a striker that is a completely different profile to Kai. Because I think that Sesko obviously isn't a one-to-one to Kai, but I think he's a little bit more in that mold. And having a different option is going to be very fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shirtless Plantain Show, the Arsenal edition. This is your host, Dean, and I am here with Mitch. What's going on, Mitch?
We're back. We're back.
We're back. The boys are back, and so are we. So preseason has begun. How much did you miss the boys, Mitch?
Enough to pay $10 to Arsenal and wake up at 5:30 a.m. this morning to watch them play.
That's insane. I would never pay my good hard-earned money to capitalists. That's ridiculous. I streamed it online like a normal person, Mitch.
I wish I could say the same, but I'm just like, it'll be easier. I'll just pay it, I guess.
Fair enough, fair enough. You did have to wake up at 5:30. You don't want to be messing around with looking for links at that time of the day.
100%.
I was up an hour earlier. I guess we're up at the same time. We're just in different time zones, So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was up to miss the lads. The transfer market never really does much for me. I don't get a lot of endorphins, even when Arsenal is buying the way they bought this summer. It's just never been my thing because I'm a child of the Wenger era. So transfers, they're not a thing I feel entitled to. I'm just like, if they happen, great.
Well, honestly, you should get more endorphins from it because you're so used to living in poverty and now you live in a mansion.
No, that's what makes me special, Mitch. I'm weird that way. Like I'm stuck in that starvation mode as an Arsenal fan until we win something. Maybe then I'll start feeling like I deserve some shit. The boys are currently in Singapore, and they were in a big ass stadium, the Singapore National Stadium, with a 55,000 capacity, but it was only, I don't think it was even half full. It was like 22,500.
Yeah.
I don't know what the conditions are on the ground there. It looked pretty hot. It looked late. So maybe people just had better shit to do. I don't know what it is, but I was kind of hoping for a better turnout, especially with a pitch with a track around it.
Yeah, you'd think so. I feel like when as a club, when you choose the places that you go to play a preseason tour, you'd want to be like, okay, we're guaranteed to fill up a stadium every time. So it's kind of surprising. Like I would imagine that Arsenal could go anywhere and fill up a stadium. So I'm kind of surprised that they weren't able to. Maybe it was a Barca situation, like they got scammed by their preseason tour. I don't know what the fuck's going on there. Or maybe it was a situation where like it was pricing owned by the stadium, and they're like, "Yeah, it's $300 for nosebleeds or something like
Honestly,
that."
I'm certain that the game against Newcastle over the weekend at the same stadium will be, if not full, way more packed. Way more packed. But to Arsenal fans' credit, apparently they outnumbered the AC Milan fans and they're by 10-1.
Hell yeah.
Great for us, I suppose. And there was a rendition of North London Forever when the game was starting, which
Hey, chalk that in the win column right there.
that's another goal right there. We started up 1-0. But we always start with the lineups on this pod, and we've talked a lot without talking about the lineup. So here was our first lineup of the 25-26 football year. David Raya in goal, Ben White back at right back, William Saliba, Ricardo Calafiori. Interesting, did not expect that. But I think it probably happened because this guy started, Alexander Zinchenko. Ethan played in Odegaard's spot, Christian Norgaard in his debut, Declan Rice in his usual position, Bukayo Saka on the right, Kai Havertz in the middle, and Gabriel Martinelli on the left. I'm not going to bury the lead here. Zinchenko's inclusion was a little surprising, don't you think?
Yeah, that's extra. Read all about it. Check out this player for sale. He's so important to us. He's starting. This is every team that needs a left back. Just so you know, this is our best lineup. This is Zinchenko is our best left back. He will be our starting left back the entire season. He's definitely not for sale, so don't even bother coming in with a price. If you come in with a 10 mil, no, absolutely not. 30? Yeah, we'll take that. No,
Maybe.
no.
You know,
This is a shop window. He's just team comes in for 15, we're selling him.
yeah, probably. And AC Milan are rumored to be interested. They're actually the only team I can remember being linked with them throughout the summer. So, they basically, Arteta basically was like, okay, Berta, I got you. AC Milan, here's what you're interested in. And I don't know that I want to evaluate how he played. I just don't care enough to get into that detail about Zinchenko. But it
Fair.
was nice to see him. I don't think he did anything silly. Uh,
Yes.
that said, the first big observation for me was that it felt as if Ethan had a free role in the team.
Yeah.
Instead of it being more of a 4-3-3 setup, it almost felt like there was a double pivot behind him. Rice
Yeah.
was a little deeper and Ethan was moving around quite a bit. Did you notice the same thing, or am I just imagining things because the kid got taller?
I think he definitely had more of a right side preference.
Right.
I think there was enough to where it was like, okay, he could feasibly be playing the right eight right now. I think more than anything, what might make me say that is that our right side was just like really good. Of just like it's nice having a healthy Ben White and Saka playing together again because like I feel like we've just missed that for so long. And honestly, just a testament to Arsenal's injuries and inconsistencies with the lineup last season. The announcers were saying during the game that this front three of Martinelli, Havertz, Saka, which is our best front three, had not started together since December. That's
Insane.
fucking insane.
It's insane. That makes me so sad.
Yes.
But they're not excuses if they actually happened. That's what I'm saying, people.
Yep.
That said, I think you're correct on the right side bias thing for Ethan because at a bare minimum, off the ball, he had to play where Odegaard plays. So that
Yep.
was sort of his starting position, if you will. But I thought he moved around quite a bit more than I'm used to seeing the captain move around, and I think that's a good thing given the stage of his career he's in and what he's capable of. We don't even know everything he's capable of yet, so you might as well give him a freer role than you would give someone like Odegaard, where we kind of know what he is.
Yeah.
Even though we hope for more than we saw last season, but let's not get into all that just yet. And it's the beginning of the year. Good vibes. Good vibes. I thought the press was really fantastic. Milan, it didn't really feel that at any point they were in this game. I want to say throughout the entire game, there were a couple moments where Rafa Leao got the ball and tried to break against like four men. And that was pretty much it. There was a break from Ruben Loftus-Cheek. We'll talk about that later. But that was it for Milan. They never really sustained pressure on Arsenal for any long period throughout the game, not to mention just the first half. So, but that said, I felt as if Arsenal didn't really, really get into the game until about the 15th minute. And
Yeah.
that started with a really nice through ball from Rice to Saka. It didn't lead to anything, but it was like, okay, the guys are here now. Um, the big observation point for me in that first half, because Ethan, we know who he is by now, but it was Christian Norgaard because he was starting. I was expecting Zubimendi to start the game, and Christian Norgaard started the game. What did you make of his performance?
I said this in our group chat this morning. I was like, it wasn't really much going on, but I liked what I saw. And I feel like that's just kind of like any new signing I kind of look at with rose tinted glasses. I'm not going to really look at a signing in his first match and be uber critical or anything. But like, what I saw out of Norgaard today is a player who I'm more than comfortable starting Premier League matches for Arsenal this season, which is what we brought him in to do.
That's fair. That's fair because I think the big sort of talking point. Hey, Pip. The big sort of talking point, and get your ass out my face, Pip.
Yeah, that's rude, man. We can't have your ass in the camera. What are we doing?
um, big talking point with Norgard was that he's pretty good off the ball, but on the ball, we don't really know how well he'll fit into the Arsenal system because Brentford doesn't play the way we play. A lot more defensive, so he has more opportunities to rack up stats like interceptions. He's not going to get those opportunities at Arsenal. So what can he do on the ball? And I got to be honest with you, when you were saying that in the group chat, which does not exist, people, when you were saying that in the group chat that doesn't exist, I thought to myself, what is he watching? Like, I'm not impressed because what I was actually noticing more often than not was his off the ball play, and it wasn't as bulletproof as I'd hoped it would be. The few moments where Rafael had or like Pulisic had a moment to like dart at the defense, I kind of felt like he missed a tackle or two early in the game. Then he kind of grew into it. Then watching the game back or watching highlights on Twitter and the like, on the ball he was really impressive. Like, and I did not expect that from him. So I think it's been a very nice start, I'd say. It's been a
Yeah,
nice.
for sure. I think that's more what I was looking at. Uh, it was 5:30 a.m., so I wasn't like, how's his off the ball movement? But I was like, oh, Norgaard's on the ball. That was a good pass, and
Yeah,
that's kind of more what I was noticing.
in that position, you basically want someone to pass the ball forward, and he was
Yeah,
doing that more than I expected him to. So
100%.
you know, a passing grade at a minimum. Welcome Christian Norgaard. Plus, he cried during his thing with the kid and all that. That was
It was
cute.
so cute. It
It
was
was so
great.
great. Back to Ethan though, because let's not bury the lead here. He was sort of the star of this game, I would say. He was the best overall performer across both halves.
Hmm.
And it's interesting because I thought he started a little slow, which
Yeah.
I might just be harsh. Maybe it was 6:30 in the morning. I was like, I can't really see. My brain ain't working. I thought he started slow because there was a moment where Saka found himself having to press on the left side of the pitch. And it didn't occur to Ethan to automatically fill his space so everyone could just shift one over. Like Arteta and some of his teammates had to like jog him out of his lethargy. And I was like, man, this boy is asleep. Like, what's going on? Then he started getting on the ball. And I think the first moment was when he turned Pavlovich inside out. You saw
Yep.
that, right?
Oh yeah, that I think that moment I was like, "Oh, Ethan's cooking," and didn't bother to think about the 15 minutes before that where like he was doing stuff like that and like missing some easy passes. But then he goes and like nutmegs a guy, and you're like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, man, you're kicking ass. This is a good game for you now."
Yeah, yeah. I think this game, the lineup he was in reminds me of the fact that a lot of the times we saw him last season, because of the injuries in the squad, he didn't get to play in the best conditions. So even though he impressed most of us, we still didn't really see the potential best of him that last season because he was playing with Raheem Sterling on the other side of him a lot of the time he played. And
Yeah.
that, no diss to Raheem, hope you're enjoying Stamford Bridge again. But that is not the ideal condition for success, if you will. So it was nice to see him next to Saka with Ben White overlapping
Yeah.
with Norgaard, who was better than I thought he'd be, with Havertz on the pitch. So it was quite lovely to see him play. What was the most impressive moment from Ethan for you in that first half?
It's truly not close. The receive and then volleying a disgusting shot that was a shame to not be a goal. That was so fucking sick.
That would have been nice. And my favorite thing about it was that the player that got cooked on the other side was Christian Pulisic. I just
Yep.
want to point that out to you Americans. Your captain, he's
I,
had a rough
I
start.
while we're on the conversation of Pulisic, getting the feeling of watching him take a corner and for the billionth time in his career not beat the first man on a corner, but it's the team that you're playing against. Great feeling. Oh my god.
Of course.
Because
Oh,
usually I get that feeling when I'm watching the U.S. men's national team, and that fucking sucks. Of like, dude, beat the fucking first man. But then I see that, I'm like, huh, it's against us now. Fuck you.
By the 20th minute, Milan initially were trying to build up a lot, and the Arsenal press was just overwhelming to them. And by the 20th minute, they'd stopped. They were kicking it long by that point. Mike Maignan did not play. They played two of the reserve goalkeepers. The second goalkeeper, we'll talk about him a little bit later, but he was, first off, that motherfucker is 6'8". You need to come to the NBA, bro. Like, what are you doing in Europe? Come to the NBA. But he was pretty impressive for a teenager. But back to the game. Milan were pinned back. Yeah, we already talked about the Ethan moment. The other very notable moment from that half was when Leo and Saliba went one on one. Rafa Leao, not Leo. Rafa Leao went one on one with William Saliba. It was really nice to see a player have the confidence to challenge Saliba like that because it doesn't happen that often.
Yeah.
Like a lot of really good players see him and they just kind of back out of the duel. They're not really trying to lose possession. But Rafa Leao like went right at him and Saliba was up to the challenge. I guess we're not surprised by this anymore, but it doesn't get any less awesome to watch, does it?
Oh, like it's like scoring a goal almost. Like just seeing Saliba like cover large amounts of space or just like taking on someone one on one and easily just like calmly winning it like he's not Rafa Leao. Like he's like not like one of the best wingers in the world. Like is just a really fun thing to see.
Indeed, man. Like like every time I wouldn't say I've forgotten that he does that, but when he started running, my first thought was someone that big shouldn't move that fast. It just doesn't get old. It's
Yeah,
incredible.
100%.
Ethan blazed over from a Ben White pass at one point. There was a tame Saka shot around the half hour mark from the second phase of a corner. I made the observation that not only did Rafael Leao look good for Milan, not that I was scouting them, but I couldn't help but notice who was playing well on the other side. Their new signing, Samuel Ricci. They got him as a free agent. I think he played at Torino last year in Serie A. And he was really good at the base of the midfield. He was really, really good. And in that moment, I was thinking to myself, like, why am I praising their defensive midfielder? Like, Norgaard wasn't doing it for me at the time, live, because I wanted to see Zubimendi. you know?
Yeah.
But let's talk about the evolution of the team a little bit. From I mean, I know it was 5:30 in the morning, so this might be a hard bar to try to hit. But did you notice anything new about what we're doing out there, or do you think it was just more of the same?
I do think that a little bit of what you were talking about with Ethan, of like it was a little bit more of a 4-2-3-1 in the first half, with Rice playing a little bit deeper. But I think the biggest thing was there wasn't all that much of a stylistic difference from Arsenal, but I think it was a Billy Carpenter post that I saw this morning that was like like seeing a healthy Ben White and Saka. It was like they were playing at 1.5 speed of just like it's we're not used to seeing this again. I've been so starved for Arsenal recently that I've been watching some highlights of some of my favorite games the last few years, and there were some moments where it was just like, oh my fucking god, I forgot how much I fucking love watching Ben White. I forgot just like how athletic and how good he is and how much fun he is to watch. Like I watched the highlights from the 5-0 game against Chelsea a couple of years ago, where both Havertz and White score braces. White is just absolutely cooking in that game. And it felt very much like that, where he's just getting high up so often. He looks fully healthy, and is just so good on the ball. It was very, very fun to watch.
I miss that guy. Miss that guy. Uh, it does merit the mention that Timber was not in the squad today because he's still recovering from ankle surgery. He hasn't joined the full training group yet, but he is making good progress according to the manager. So that's good because we're going to need both of them at this point. Like I don't really have a favorite between them. They're just both awesome to me. That's what they
I
are.
I love Urian Timber, but I'm always going to be a Ben White guy.
Yeah, I can't co-sign that. I can't co-sign it, but I co-sign Julian Timber as well. Put it that way. I thought, I mean, I'm not going to make any deep observations because again, it was 6:30 in the morning, but I thought Arsenal were a little more, I don't know if it was the opposition, but I thought we were a little more direct. It was a little less ponderous in midfield. The ball went forward faster. But I think you always feel that way when you're dominating a game, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't sense a lot of U-shaped pattern in the game at all, even though Milan were basically forced into a deep block pretty quickly, it felt
It's
like.
it, it's probably one of those situations where we were playing a team that we were dominating possession, but Milan are and think they are good enough to not have to hunker down, where
Right.
it wasn't like an organized deep block like we're playing like Brentford, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Maybe, I mean, and again, they have a new manager. This is their first preseason game as well. So, they're learning things as well. But I think objectively speaking, Milan is not as good a team as Arsenal. We're not in the same tier, to be honest. And
Yeah.
honestly, it looked that way for most of the half for me, even though it was a 0-0 game for that half. It seemed like Arsenal were the superior team pretty easily. And Arsenal were not clicking on full gear, but Ethan was, that's for sure. Um, what did you make of Havertz in that first half? He probably played the most minutes of any player because he came on kind of late in the second half for, I want to say Marino, but we'll get there. But he has a new physique. We've all kind of been waiting. We saw him in one game at the end of last season. That's not enough to judge. Is there any additional insight? Were there any moments where you thought to yourself, this whole gym thing might be a good thing?
Uh, I mean, it aesthetically looked good. I don't think I saw the muscles truly in action. I think I wanted a little more from him in this game. I was only able to watch up until the 65th minute because I had to like go to work or whatever. And I didn't see all that much from him, but when he was on the ball, I liked what I saw.
From my perspective, it was all very efficient. And I was trying to tee up for a specific moment. It was a small thing, but it really stood out to me. He basically ran through an opponent. Like he just ran through him. Like he could have gone around him. He could have been chicken shit about that. And he just ran over the guy. and it was great. He didn't like get the
I
ball
love
after it,
that.
but he just knocked the guy over, and it looked very brutal. I enjoyed it quite a bit. That said, the worst tackle in that first half was by Alexis Salamakers. He put one on Martinelli's foot pretty early in the game, and I was like, bro, come on, man, it's preseason. Can you? And Declan Rice told him the same thing, you know. Right at the end of the half, Havertz robbed Yunus Musa and fed Martinelli. His deflected shot went out for a corner. From that corner, Calafiori headed and Milan cleared it off the line. Then a Ben White shot got blocked. Then it was halftime. At halftime, there were going to be always going to be subs, and I think Arsenal changed like half the team. I think everyone came off, but Ben White, Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, William Saliba, and Bukayo Saka. Kepa, Kivior, MLS, Zubimendi, Trossard, and Odegaard came on. Milan made three changes. Chukwueze, Okafor, and Gabia came on for them. Obviously, the most exciting of these of these subs was Zubimendi.
Kepa.
No, it was not Kepa. Not Kepa. Not playing this shit. You're a goalkeeper, and you probably look like him. I haven't checked, but no, it's Zubimendi. What did you make of him?
There was not a lot to dislike from Martin Zubimendi's debut. Everything I was impressed with Norgaard was turned up to 10 with Zubimendi. But I think I really want to hear what you have to say about him, because I know you can. There's nothing you love more than a defensive midfielder.
You're correct. You're correct. This is you know, some people watch porn. Some people do coke. I watch DMs. That's my thing. I watch defensive midfielders. That's kind of my thing. And I know this player. I've watched him for many years. I watched him at Sociedad. I've watched him for Spain, and it's weird because in my head over the years I've sort of developed a certain template for what I think the best defensive midfielders play like. They tend to be somewhat stationary. They kind of cover that space in front of defenders. What I've noticed that the best of the best right now, Rodri, I'd say Rodri still, even though he got hurt last year. He's more mobile than you'd expect. Like, he moves around a lot for a six. Like, the best sixes nowadays are very mobile, and that's what really stands out to me about Zubimendi. The passing is a given. Like, that was not a surprise at all. Like, it's very crisp. He keeps the tempo moving pretty quickly. He doesn't need to be on the ball to affect the game a lot, which again is also really impressive. He's sort of willing to make these sacrificial runs in every phase of the game, whether it's deep in build up, whether it's in the other team's half. Who make these runs to open up space for other people. And he's just a tremendous watch. Like, I'm probably gassing it because he just got here, and this was far from his best game. I thought there were moments where he could be more aggressive. There was a moment where he had the ball in the box on the left side, and he probably should have taken a shot or drilled it across the face of goal, but he like chipped across that didn't really go to anyone. And there were moments at the edge of the box where I felt someone like Rodri or the last guy that held the job would shoot the ball, but he was sort of like, I just got here, I'm not stepping on any toes. Here you go, Martin, or here you go, Max. But it was really a pleasure to watch him, and I just can't wait. I can't wait because I think Arsenal arguably has the best defensive midfielder in the world. It's arguable. I'll give it to Rodri for now, but if there's a close second, it's Martin Zubimendi, and I'm glad we have him.
There's a reason that in that Euro final, people were like, oh, Rodri's hurt. Spain are fucked. And then, no, they were not. Martin Zubimendi is a very, very good player.
Yep. According to, what's their manager's name? Luis De La Fuente? According to him, if they're, again, just what I said, the second best defensive midfielder in the world is Martin Zubimendi. And that's only because Rodri's first, and he's pretty good. He did win the Ballon d'Or. So,
sure did.
The first thing he did, that sort of stood out was, I think his first touch on the ball that I noticed was a line breaker, like into the box, and it was like at points, I felt like him and MLS were having a line breaking competition. Zubimendi was like, I'll hold the right side. MLS was like, I got the left. Let's see who can break more lines. And it was quite fun to watch. What did you make of MLS? He had a breakout season last year. He now has a big contract and all that. Are you still marveling at what we see with this kid, or are you used to it yet?
I think I'm used to it at this point. I forget he's a teenager still, because I'm just like used to him being such like a calm and composed player, and it's just like, oh yeah, you got the ball and you made a great pass. That's what I expect out of you, kind of thing. And it's the expectation, but it's not a high one because I know he's going to meet it every time because I know he's that good of a player. And One thing to almost go back to Zubimendi is I think one of the expectations with this signing was that maybe he wasn't like gonna be as good of a progressor, and that a lot more onus was gonna be on MLS. That is absolutely not the case. I think it's gonna be a very, very even partnership between them in the base of midfield. Like when we have the ball, and I'm very, very excited about that because I wouldn't want only one player to be our progressor coming out of midfield. And we know MLS can do that, and I think obviously we know Zubimendi can.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned progression from midfield. You definitely want more than one source of progression. But I was just thinking to myself, like, I think the big appeal of Zubimendi is that he can basically do it all himself if you need
Yeah.
him to, you know. So I can't wait to see how what the knock-on effects of that will be when we start playing real games in a couple weeks here. But yeah, MLS was fantastic. However, Milan's last notable chance to my memory was when they got a turnover in their half and they played the ball into the space behind MLS. And Ruben Loftus-Cheek was fucking motoring. He was I
I
did
didn't
not
know he had
know.
wheels like that.
I did not know, bro. He
I
was
did not
quick.
know.
Like I think even Saliba was like, "Oh, I gotta turn it up to gear 4. Ah, crap, fuck it." And he just casually took the ball from him. It was crazy. I was
That
expecting
was
him
my
to shove
favorite
off.
Saliba play of the game.
Yeah,
That was great.
yeah, because I think with the Leao one at the end, it wasn't that Saliba dispossessed him. It was that Leao took a bad touch, but it was because Saliba was putting pressure on him. In this case, Saliba just cleanly took the ball off his toes. Like, nope, I'll have that. Like, yeah, that was a great moment. Let's see. Oh, then what's the goal? We haven't really talked much about Bukayo, besides saying that it's nice to see him back and healthy. But I thought he had a good game. Every time he touched the ball, per usual, I thought something was going to happen.
Yep.
And that's not that's a feeling you can't really take for granted. Like when your offensive players get on the ball, sometimes you have players. There are players in this team where they get on the ball and you don't. Something good can happen, but you don't expect it to happen. With Saka, it can happen at any moment. And I just love having a player like that. And I hope we can get one on the other side. But this is not a transfer window pod, so I'll keep it pushing. But in the 52nd minute, Kivior crossed the ball from that deep position he loves to cross from. That boy can pass. And it went all the way to the back post where Saka finished it. I guess wax miracle, Mitch. You saw that before you left for work.
Yeah, I was originally I thought I was only going to be able to watch the first half, and then I was able to watch the first bit of the second half. So I was just hyped that I got to see the goal. I'm like, if we win 1-0, I'm just glad I got to see it when I wasn't able to watch the whole game. God damn, Jakub Kivior. What a fucking ball. Like, obviously we know we have this, that he has this in his locker, but what a fucking pass from him. And it's crazy that a center back can just do that. Obviously he's not going to disrupt Saliba Gabriel as a partnership, but he's been someone that's been talked about as like a potential market opportunity of a sale, and we should not be selling him for anything less than 50 million. Unless we're making a lot of profit on what we paid for him a couple of years ago, we absolutely should not be selling him because he is. Yeah, my audio just got shit because the cat was walking in front of the mic. He doesn't know how podcasts work. He's a baby. But yeah, he's a great player. A center back that can just like put a cross from there is unbelievable, and he's a talent that we can't let go for anything less than a real some Nani Madueke money.
Yeah, I think ultimately, I don't think anyone in Italy can afford to pay the prices I think
Oh
he's
no.
worth. So I think he's going to end up having to stay. That said, what did you make of the fact that he didn't start? Because in my mind, when Gabriel doesn't play, then Kivior should play. But Calafiori started instead. What did you make of that?
I'm not really putting anything into starting decisions. Like we were just talking at the top of this pod, Zinchenko started, and Norgaard started over Zubimendi. Like we did not throw out our strongest 11. In fact, our strongest 11 was maybe in the second half when we actually had our starting midfield out there. We finally saw Rice, Zubimendi, and Odegaard playing together, and then also brought Kivior out there. So it's very easy to see. Oh, Kivior came on with MLS, our starting left back, as opposed to he didn't start the game and therefore he's not the second choice left center back. I think it's just it's vibes in preseason. It's just like, we're going to start Calafiori. Why not? Like, hey, this is your team. He was in their youth system, right? Or is that Roma? Calafiori.
Was he in Milan's youth system at any point? I don't think so.
I think I'm maybe confused. I think it was Roma. I think I'm just confused.
I don't know if he was ever at Milan. I don't think he was.
Or it's like hey, we're playing an Italian team. Have the start.
Pasta. All right. I want to make the observation that Declan Rice is an attention whore. Okay. Like, you don't gotta wave at the crowd every time they chant for you, bro. Like, just focus on the game in front of you. Like, he was going to go take a corner and they were chanting for him and he could not help himself. He was like, you like me so much.
It's preseason. That's the whole point. Let's be real.
He's a marketing slore. Anyway.
He knows that with one swoop of his hair, he'll get a little bit of a cheer, and so he just knows that he can do that.
I think that would actually be a good drinking game. The next time I go out to watch a morning game, every time him and Odegaard do that to their hair, we can't include Calafiori because I'll die.
Yes,
but those two do it, I'll take a shot. How about that?
Dean, it's gonna happen at some point. You and I are gonna watch a game together, and when that happens, it's going to be in a place where we're not going to have to drive, and that means we're going to play that game, and we're going to get fucking hammered.
Your liver is a lot younger than mine, but I'm not going to chicken out ahead of time, so maybe the day of. All right. Gosh, when did my notes have let me down? Because, they have not. I just wrote them wrong. Marino came on as an uncle alongside three children. Marley Salmon, a kid that's very highly rated, a center back. Josh Nichols, we've seen him before, and drum roll please, Max Dowman. Boy, did you get to see him at all? Did you watch a comp perhaps?
I left right as he came on.
Good Lord, Mitch, this guy knows who the fuck he is and what he wants to do with his life at age 15, is it still?
Yeah. Like,
he touched the ball and it was pretty immediate that he thought to himself, I'm the best player on the pitch. Fuck it, and Milan could not get near him. like all the kids we've seen him run over, they had to follow him too, and he got his first run. He went past three people and got a shot away. It went wide. Yeah. Man, we have some talent. I don't know how long we're going to be able to keep him at his current level. I almost get the same. I mean, I'm gassing it, but fuck it. I'm gassing it because I saw what I saw today. I would not be surprised if by the end of preseason, there's a clamor surrounding this kid. Because, and I'm not done clamoring about Ethan.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of clamor, but I don't know. What do you think? Do you think we're going to be able to keep all these kids satisfied with the playing time they're going to get? I know it's a weird thing to worry about this early, but they're really good, Mitch. They're really good.
I hate to rain on the parade. And part of this is because I didn't get to watch him. He just turned 15. He just became eligible to play for the under 18s or the under 21s or whatever the second division of the youth system is now. But he just became eligible for that. So the next step up is for him to play in that part of the thing. Like, he's 15. He's just became eligible to even play it, make a Premier League squad. I think it's a little premature for, regardless of how good he is, for him to be a huge factor within the Arsenal squad this year. Now, granted, if he gets to play in a bunch of preseason games like Ethan and MLS did last year, where it was very clear coming out of preseason last year, is these two are going to be in the squad this year. I think in the last few years, it's been oh yeah, they were there and they showed bright spots, but they aren't necessarily going to have the huge spot that they did in the squad last year. But it's also opportunity. It's if we have a couple injuries, now he's available and it's very easy to see him as the next man up. I think I'm someone who I pay very little attention to Haaland. It's such a low return rate. Like there's people that are just like so locked the fuck in to U21 games, and that's just never going to be me. Like there's two guys from that team who are going to be in the Arsenal team, and it's great to see them early, but a lot of guys you're like, wow, this guy's the truth, and he's now in the second division of Spain. And it's like, okay. Charlie Patino was a real hyped prospect, and it's not there for him, and it's just the reality of soccer youth development. It's just how it goes when you're playing against younger guys. It's easier to stand out. You get to the big time, and it can be a little bit tougher. And that's not any indication on any player or anything like that. But I think it's easy to find those diamonds in the rough when you're breaking out at 15, like Ethan Nwaneri or Max Dowman. It's way easier to be like, oh fuck yeah, it's gonna be hard to keep this guy down. But it's like, oh, you've made a couple like someone like Josh Nichols is like, yeah, great man. I don't know if you're gonna be like a mainstay in the Arsenal team, unfortunately, when you have all of these other guys coming in. I know this is a bummer. I know this is like the most bummer that I've sounded like.
It's preseason. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? Stop this.
Yeah, okay.
Long. Why didn't you just like make your shitty point briefly? What's wrong with you? Ew.
Yeah,
Ew.
I did talk too long. I'm sorry.
Yeah. However, you're not wrong. It is wise to be cautious about this. We've seen the examples. You mentioned Charlie Patino, and there was Miguel Aziz, and there was Gideon Zelalem before him, and Carlos Vela before them, and so on and so forth. That said, I'm willing to bet any money that these guys are going to make it. One way or the other.
I think Dowman's going to make it. It's been hard for me to ignore Dowman over the last few years. Like he's been like people posted highlights of him since he's 13. I'm like, guys, this is insane. But then I watch the highlights. I'm like, oh fuck, this guy's good.
Like they have a point, you know. And, I think like really, I suppose what I wanted to emphasize in the original question I asked you was, do you think? I mean, there's no guarantee they're going to make it, but I think we both kind of get the sense that they will. These two particular players, Ethan and Max. My concern is that they're going to push so hard that the club might not be able to keep them there that good. You know, because nobody really wants to wait anymore. You know, all these kids see Lamine Yamal, he 17, won the Euros, you know, if you feel you're that talented, and if you're Max, you probably think you're that talented, you know, at what point do you start agitating? But I suppose we don't have to worry about that today, you know, but like that's what came to mind when I watched him play today. Like, he's so good.
If Arsenal were holding him back, like without
game time,
without reason, like last season, he didn't make a Premier League team because he was literally ineligible. Right. But if he was eligible, if he was born like 2 months later, he would have been on some Premier League benches last year.
He trained with them basically the whole year. He trained with
100%.
Men.
And I think it's a much easier pitch to make to some of these guys of like, hey, you're from here. Like we want you. We want to have this path for you. There's a reason that Ethan Nwaneri is signing a new contract. And I think it's so early for Max Dowman that if he's when Ethan was doing his original contract dispute before he became a pro, there was a lot of people that were like really, really upset about it, of like, oh, he's flirting with other teams. Like, this is so bad. We simply must keep him. And I'm like, he's played 2 minutes for the Arsenal first team. If he decides I'm so good, I need to go elsewhere, I'm kind of comfortable letting a youth player do that. Like I'm like seeing articles about Aiden Heaven for United, and I'm like, great. You found a path to a first team by playing for the 17th best team in the Premier League. I'm happy you did that, man. Like that.
That's the goal at that age. When you're developing, you won't play.
100%, and I completely understand that pathway. I 100%. I don't blame a kid for wanting to like, hey, if I go to Manchester United, I'm going to play in the first team this year. That sounds awesome. Or if I go to Chelsea, I'm going to play in the first team this year. That's awesome. Like that. I don't blame a 16-year-old being like, I want to play first team football. I'm going to go do that. But I also would love for them to stay. But if they're like, I'm not starting at 15, then what the fuck am I doing? I'm going to Manchester City.
Honestly, I'll keep it a buck with you. Like right now, I'm giving up Martin Norgaard for both these motherfuckers.
I mean, we all fucking know that, Dean.
Get Eze and do a 3-man rotation of Eze, Dahlman, and Ethan. And buy Martin. Go drink some milk. Anyway, I didn't mean any of that, people. In case you were wondering, I was being sarcastic. Okay, I love our captain. I thought he looked pretty good today, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know that his power is all the way back where I think it should be, but he did not look like a liability, and he looked like a liability at points last season. Was, not to ruin the mood again, people, but that those PSG games really hurt my feelings. Well, the first one, the second one, he was much better. It was much better. Um, this game definitely indicated to me that Arsenal could definitely win Serie A this season, so that's good. So that's one trophy squared away.
Yeah, we're
Uh,
winning Serie A. Like, watch
yeah.
out, Inter, get
So
fucked.
watch out, Napoli, we're coming for your ass. Marino had a really lovely header from an Odegaard corner that was saved by the 8-foot teenage goalie in Milan's goal. There was a really petulant foul by Rafael Leao on Zubimendi. He was just frustrated. Milan did not get the ball at all, and he kind of elbowed dude in the face, and I was like, Mikel is not gonna buy you for being aggressive, bro. That's not what we mean by duels. After he did that, Allegri was wise to sub him off because it looked like he had kind of lost his rag, and I'm like, who loses their rag in a preseason game? Like, bro, like it's not even a real sport right now. Like, the hero of Bournemouth came on in the 78th minute, Reece Nelson. He came on for Havertz, which meant that Mikel Merino got to move back to center forward. I was so happy for him. That's all we wanted to see all weekend. What do you make of Reece's current status in the squad? This is the first game he's played since he got injured at Fulham while he was on loan last season. And honestly, he looked good. Now, by now, a bunch of Milan subs had come in. But Reece, I think he always kind of looks really good in preseason. Is he tricking me again?
um, Real quick, one thing on Marino. I'm so glad that our backup striker's back. I'm really excited to see Gyökeres at left 8. I think he's going to do great there. And in regard to Reece Nelson, I mentioned that I was watching highlights from some games that I've enjoyed the last few years. Obviously, one of those was the Bournemouth game. Just to wax lyrical on that for 1 second, how did that team not win the fucking league, man? Like, that was just such a fucking team of destiny moment, and I can't believe we didn't do it just off vibes alone. But yeah, I have so much time for Reece Nelson. I really do. I fucking love that guy. Unfortunately, I think his Arsenal career is over. And that sucks. But I think it'd be best for him, and I think it'd be best for Arsenal if we moved on. It sounds like Fulham wants to bring him on full time, and he barely played that last season, and they want to bring him on full time, and I don't blame them. He is a fucking good player. But Bukayo Saka is what Reece Nelson was supposed to be. And if it wasn't for injuries, we would maybe be talking about how, oh man, our top 3, 4, we got 2 of the best wingers in soccer right now with Nelson and Saka, and then Martinelli as our third winger. This is amazing. Unfortunately, the football gods are very rude and very evil.
Cruel. They've been cruel to our boy. Like every time it looked like he was going to get that run in the team, injury. And even when he was at Fulham, right as he got into the team, locked the spot down, hamstring, boom. And the crazy thing I was watching that game live, and he was about to get subbed off. The next time the ball went out, he was coming off the pitch, and it was his last sprint to chase the ball down, and he hurt his hamstring, and he was out for the rest of the season. Just shit luck. Such a good player.
Sometimes I truly do wish that soccer was like WWE, because if it was, then Arsenal won the league in 22-23, and Reece Nelson would be one of the best soccer players in the world right now. Unfortunately, we don't live in that world, and we got to deal with actual human bodies breaking down and stuff like that. And unfortunately, that's just been the story of Reece Nelson. And I will be rooting in the same way that I root for Emile Smith-Rowe every chance I fucking get for Fulham. I will be rooting for Reece Nelson every fucking chance I get for Fulham.
Maybe this is why we can't beat those fuckers, because you're rooting. Stop rooting, okay?
Well, I'm not rooting for them against Arsenal, obviously.
Oh man, Marley Salmon, the 15-year-old central defender who is being acclaimed as potentially the best young defender to come out of Hale End since Ashley Cole.
I never heard his name before today.
I knew about him. I'm on the internet too much, I suppose, but he hit a 60-yard pass because he didn't have to defend much. At this point, Milan had done a bunch of subs, and Arsenal were just peppering him. We didn't score any more goals, but if the stakes were higher, we definitely would have found a way to murder them, I think. But they didn't really lay a glove on us past halftime, really.
Yeah.
After the Ruben Loftus-Cheek moment that we talked about, where Saliba took the ball off his toe,
Yeah.
that was it. But Marley Simon had a beautiful moment where he had a 60-yard pass to Reece Nelson right on the money. Josh Nichols had a really beautiful moment where he turned away from two Milan players in the right back zone. Reece Nelson had a lovely cross to Odegaard. Odegaard hit the side netting. Actually, no, it got saved. And the corner routine led to a shot by Reece Nelson that also got deflected, but the ref didn't call it a corner. And it made me sad at 7:45 in the morning. Um, in the final minute of normal time, Zubimendi put in a beautiful trademark tackle that led to a nice, it was a high turnover, if you will. And we didn't execute because Leo could not get his shot off after Odegaard had played him a lovely through ball. The Milan defender did well, but I thought Leo should have gotten a shot off there. And in that moment, I was really grateful to remember that we have signed Victor Gyökeres. This is not a transfer focused pod, but it feels like it'd be foolish to go through an entire 45 minutes to an hour and not acknowledge at least one of our new signings that's not present. We'll do more later, but Mitch, how are you feeling about the fact that it looks like the Victor Gyökeres deal is done?
I'm very, very excited. I think we've talked a little bit about transfers like the end of last season, and I think I've always been more of a Sesko guy. Whenever like all of our links came out, but I think at this price, Gyökeres is a better signing. And also, once we started moving forward with him, I really warmed up to the idea of a striker that is a completely different profile to Kai, because I think that Sesko obviously isn't a one-to-one to Kai, but I think he's a little bit more in that mold. And having a different option is going to be very fun. Obviously, Arsenal, I think one of my problems with when we were linked to Gyökeres was he's someone that really likes to run in behind. There's not a lot of opportunities where we get to run in behind. But I also think that there's maybe more than we realize. And we just haven't had a guy who wants to do it. And so now having someone that really wants to do it might, you might be like all of a sudden being like, oh my God, Martin Odegaard's God's gift to soccer because he's able to hit some long balls to Victor Gyökeres who's making a run in behind or something.
No, I'm never going to say that because good players shine in all circumstances. But around me to play well, like, man, shut your bitch ass up and fucking play, motherfucker. Like, you're not trying to do shit. Like, Saka plays well all the time. He gets triple teamed.
I digress. I'm very excited. I'm very excited for Victor Gyökeres. I think he's gonna be very fun. I think it's very fun that he, anytime a player signs for us that is a very good player that is like, I don't want to go anywhere else but Arsenal, is always a good sign to me. That's a green flag. His former manager, who will be playing in the same system that he has been playing in, also wanted him at United, and he's like, no, I want to go to Arsenal, and I'm always all about that. And also having a guy with like the trademark celebration, that shit's gonna rip. Like he's gonna score a sick goal to like win a game against a rival. He's gonna do that, and it's gonna give me so much goddamn happiness.
Things.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I probably think I'm too cool to do that shit, but I'm gonna do it. It's gonna happen.
I mean, I did it just now, saw myself in the camera and was like, that looks sick.
He said, I'm holding a mic, so I literally cannot do it. Sorry, guys. In any event, the game ended with a penalty shootout because the teams had decided that regardless of the result, Arsenal won the game 1-0, in case you didn't pick that up. Let's do a few stats before we get into those penalties, but Arsenal won the game 1-0, and it was a very dominant victory. Arsenal had 23 shots to Milan's 3, 9 shots on target to their 1, 57% possession, 498 passes, 89% pass accuracy, 14 corners. Didn't convert any of them. That's how you know Big Gabby's injured right now, or not, has a niggle, not injured. He just has a niggle. But that was a very dominant performance by Arsenal. And the game ended on penalties, and it was the players on the pitch that took the penalties. And all I noticed is that both goalkeepers were really good. Shout out Kepa, because he had come in for Raya at halftime. And Milan's goalkeeper is just fucking huge. A 6'8" human being is terrifying. And he scared the fuck out of Martin Odegaard because he missed the very first penalty. And that did not impress me, Mitch. You know how I feel about that, man. He's playing with my emotions. I don't like it.
I know how you feel about that.
Good. Just in case I didn't make my point. In any event, we will be back with more on everything that has happened and some of the stuff that hasn't happened yet. We'll certainly be talking about the next preseason game, which happens at the same venue, Singapore National Stadium, against Newcastle. Mitch, what's your general take on playing preseason games against your domestic competition? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Especially teams that don't.
I fucking hate that shit. I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it so goddamn much. But like, even if we do it, don't play against the fucking team that hack at us every single goddamn time we play them. It's a fucking bloodbath out there every time we go to St. James's Park and we're like, yeah, let's play him in a game that doesn't matter. You think Bruno G's gonna take it easy? No, he's gonna studs up on Saka in the second minute and they're gonna be like, it's a friendly, we're not gonna do cards. And then we're gonna like, someone's gonna get hurt and miss the first game of the season. That's my bold prediction.
Nobody's getting hurt. Nobody's getting hurt. We are not prophesying bullshit. It's fine. It's going to be okay. Because here's the thing about football. There are two teams. So we can't kick them back. And that in itself is a deterrent. Like, I don't think anyone's going to take it too seriously, but I do agree with the overall sentiment. I think it sort of devalues the league itself when teams are playing friendlies abroad during the offseason. Like, this is time for us to be playing random teams that we never get to play. Like, play against Atalanta. I know we played them in the Champions League, but I don't know what's Sassuolo doing right now. What's Villarreal doing right now? Let's play against those teams. I don't know. But, promoters got to sell games, so we got to play these games. But definitely looking forward to it. Cannot wait to talk about it. And we have a lot of really cool stuff planned for you guys this year. We're working on everything during what is essentially the off season. So I'm not going to make any more promises. And there are some of you that might be listening to this that I owe a package. I did not forget. I'm just really lazy. And I'm sorry. But I got you. I did forget. Mitch, anything else for the people?
Yeah, two quick things about some other signings. Kepa is a great fucking backup goalkeeper signing. I'm thrilled. $5 million for Kepa is wonderful. Obviously goes under the radar because it's a backup goalkeeper, but like we've got that shit sorted out. I don't think we're gonna need to buy a goalkeeper for the next few windows. That's great. And then I'm very excited about Nani Madueke. I know a lot of Arsenal fans are very down about him. A lot of Arsenal fans are being losers about him. I think he's gonna be great. He looks great in red. I'm excited to see him.
My sentiments are similar. It took me a minute to warm up to the idea. I'm not going to pretend the moment we heard the link, I was like, yes, do that. But once I gave it some thought, I think within the group chat, I feel like I was the first one to turn and be like, you know what? I think I like this.
I was never avidly against it.
I watched that kid, and I think I see early Gareth Bale. But we'll talk about that in more detail later.
I talked to you about that 5-0 Chelsea game that we won. Yeah. The only good Chelsea highlights are in that game. Nani is fucking cooking. In a game that we dominated them start to finish. Nani plays fucking great in that game.
And I remember him scoring against us once in a different game.
Yeah.
That was like maybe a 3-1 scoreline, and he scored the one. Thanks to Zinchenko, of course, because he doesn't score against that guy. In any event, folks, thanks for hanging out with Mitch and I. We'll be back soon enough, I hope. Mitch, what to tell the people?
Peace.
Hey folks, this is Dean from the Shirtless Plantain Show. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and follow us on all our socials. You can see them right beneath our recordings in every video. Thanks again, and see you on the next one.